On January 5th, 2016, and as revised on July 12th, 2016, adequate notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been furnished by inclusion thereof in the annual schedule of meetings for 2016, which has been posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, filed with Borough Clerk, faxed to the Our Town Record and the community news newspapers, and distributed to all persons, if any, requesting copies of same pursuant to said act. In case of an emergency or fire alarm, you should evacuate the building by using any of the exit doors in the room. They're immediately to my right, and the double doors at the rear of the room. Occupants must exit the building by using the staircase and not the elevator. This meeting is being recorded by both video and audio and may be rebroadcast.
Would everyone please rise to salute the flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Progress.
Here.
Council members: Padavano.
Here.
Trevino.
Here.
DeHere.
Here.
Messer.
Present.
Maroney.
Here.
Lindenau.
Here.
Borough Attorney Ronald Dario.
Here.
Borough Administrator Roberta Stern.
Here.
Borough Clerk Jean Floyd-Britt is here.
Okay, we have some proclamations today. We have a certificate of recognition for the 2016 Maywood Dolphin swim team. Just a couple of fun facts. This team was much smaller this year than in the past. There were just 95 swimmers this year, and even with fewer swimmers, and with 10 to 20 swimmers missing from each meet for vacations or other commitments, the Dolphins went undefeated again this season. The team has not lost a dual meet in many years. So I think the last loss was in 2008. Is that true? All right. Well done. Can we get you guys up here? Would you mind? Take a picture. How about take a picture with the parents, everybody? Come on up. Take a picture. We have the certificate that reads the Borough of Maywood Certificate of Recognition is awarded to the 2016 Maywood Dolphins swim team in recognition of and congratulations on your undefeated season and for duly representing your hometown, the Borough of Maywood. Yes. Parents take pictures. Guys, come on. Come on.
Everybody smile.
Hey guys, why don't you guys pretend you're having fun. Pretend this is a good thing.
How you doing? Pretend you got another award.
Yeah, Can we get pictures with us?
Oh, yes.
Right, no, really good.
Yes. Come on, Frank, get in there. We have a kid stand in front of you or something, so I don't think you can't get it all behind us.
Who's in front?
Just step forward. Good.
Yes.
How are you?
A little bit. Steps.
There you go.
Claire, move in. Mike, move in.
Are we all in?
We good?
So nice. That's a nice picture.
It's a good shot.
Every year.
That's right. We expect to see you here again next year, too.
Do our best, right? Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Whereas September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, a time to honor and remember children and families affected by these rare diseases and help rally support to give kids with cancer better outcomes. And whereas 15,780 children under the age of 21 are diagnosed with cancer every year, approximately a quarter of them will not survive the disease. And whereas a diagnosis turns the lives of the entire family upside down, the objective of the Childhood Cancer Awareness Month is to put a spotlight on the types of cancer that largely affect children and survivorship issues. And whereas during the month of September, 25,000 families around the world will get the horrible news that their child or teen has cancer, and 6,667 families will experience the loss of a child. More children are being diagnosed with cancer today than ever before. And whereas 1 out of 5 children diagnosed with cancer will not survive the disease. And whereas childhood cancer is not just one disease, but is made up of a dozen types and countless subtypes of cancer that spares not socioeconomic, ethnic, racial, or geographic class. And whereas the causes of most pediatric cancers are largely unknown and not strongly linked to lifestyle, unlike adult cancers, and whereas 2/3 of childhood cancer patients will develop long-lasting chronic conditions as a result from treatment that prevent them from fully participating in school, social activities, and work. And whereas cancer kills more children than AIDS, asthma, cystic fibrosis, diabetes, and muscular dystrophy combined. And whereas despite the facts, childhood cancer research is vastly and consistently underfunded, and whereas despite the major advances in treatment, it is still critically important to conduct research and increase awareness regarding pediatric cancer. Now, therefore, I, Adrian J. Fabray, Mayor of the Borough of Maywood, do hereby proclaim September 2016 Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in the Borough of Maywood in order to help raise awareness of pediatric cancer and its victims. Whereas sickle cell disease is the most common genetic disorder in the United States, and whereas an estimated 100,000 people live with sickle cell disease in the United States, up to 80% are African American, but many different races are affected. Millions are affected globally, and whereas sickle cell disease occurs among about 1 out of every 400 African American births, and the sickle cell trait occurs among 1 in 10 African Americans, and whereas sickle cell disease is a group of inherited red blood cell disorders that is present at birth, to have the disease, both sets of parents must pass down sickle cell genes. There's a 25% chance if both parents carry the sickle cell trait. People who have SCT inherit 1 sickle cell gene from one parent and 1 normal gene from the other parent. People with SCT usually do not have any signs of the disease and live a normal life, but they can pass the trait on to their children. And whereas sickle cell disease is diagnosed with a simple blood test, it most often is found at birth during the routine newborn screening tests at the hospital. Because children with SCD are at an increased risk of infection and other health problems, early diagnosis and treatment are important. And whereas sickle cell disease is chronic but treatable, although there is no single best treatment for all people with SCD. Treatment options are different for each person depending on the symptoms, which can range from mild to severe. And now, therefore, I, Adrian J. Fabray, Mayor of the Borough of Maywood, do hereby proclaim September 2016 Sickle Cell Awareness Month in the Borough of Maywood in order to help raise awareness of sickle cell disease and its victims. Greg, would you come up for the engineer's report? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Mayor and Council, we issued an engineer's report dated the 9th for tonight's meeting. The first item on the list is the Economic Recovery Program grant. In June, our office had issued and received the TWA permit for the project. Shortly thereafter, our office issued an engineer's estimate for bonding purposes to the borough. In July, we forwarded a final construction document package to the Environmental Infrastructure Trust Administrative Task, the borough and borough attorney for review for concurrence prior to bidding. Just this past week, September 6th, we received a response from DEP pertaining to the submission. There was some additional information they required. We followed up with the submission package on September 7th to address the DEP's questions. The next item on the list is the Maywood Avenue Streetscape project. That project has been halted due to the Infrastructure Transportation Trust Fund shutdown by the state. Some items that need to be addressed still are the streetscape lighting and some bollards and a trash receptacle. The next item is the 2015 roadway improvement program. That project has been completed. A construction completion letter was forwarded to the state. The state would then do a final inspection, which hasn't occurred as of yet, again, due to the Transportation Trust shutdown. The next item on the list is the various ADA ramp improvements, which is a Bergen County Community Development Block Grant funded project that the borough received. The borough last month awarded the contract to Diamond Construction for $50,895, which is fully encumbered by the grant. Included ADA ramps at the intersections of Jersey and Woodland, Jersey and Washington, Jersey and East Fairmont, and the intersection of Woodland and Garden. A pre-construction meeting occurred on September 2nd. The meeting was held at Borough Hall. Construction's to proceed September 19th per discussions in the meeting with the contractor. The next item on the list is the West Pleasant Avenue traffic circles. Although we've been reporting to the governing body that the work is to be occurring, we put the contractor on written notice this past week. We received a response immediately from the contractor. We've been informed that the work is either going to occur tomorrow or Thursday based on our written response to the contractor. The final item on the list is the PSE&G sidewalk replacement program. PSE&G, if you notice, in various locations, which include Central Avenue, Edel Avenue, and some other locations throughout the municipality, will be replacing damaged sidewalks where street trees used to exist. We understand these slab locations will be addressed during September. That concludes the report, but I'd be glad to address any questions or comments that the governing body had.
Anyone from the council have any questions for the engineer? Rick, I know because there's no time for it, do you have any guesstimate of when they're going to turn the switch back on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I've heard from the state, and this was through the record, was after the election, November election, was when they would start to begin discussions again. I know I've heard discussions are starting up again, but resolution may not occur till after the November elections.
The other thing I have is they're opening up some streets in town. I know the administrator's been speaking with you on this. PSE&G's policy is what with respect to repaving streets?
With respect to repaving streets curb to curb, it's any roadway that's been paved within the past 5 years.
Okay, so the ones that they're opening?
And any roadway that would qualify, correct. But if Parkway is to be opened, it would be paved curb to curb. If Jersey is to be opened, it would be paved curb to curb. East Hunter was reopened, which was paved within the past 5 years, curb to curb.
And also, just so you know, the Spencer Joseph, because they just ran into gas
Correct.
line.
Spencer Joseph also, correct.
Okay, now, if it's our contractor, we have a punch list, and we can withhold money on that.
Oh, most definitely we could.
Obviously, it's not our contractor, but will they address any punch list items that come up?
They would have to. They would have to. They would have to.
Anything else? Okay.
I'd be glad to.
The public speaks.
I'd be glad to.
After that, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'd like to open up the meeting to the public. At this time, is there anything that should be heard? Please.
So my name is Tom Borneman, 848 Grant Avenue. I got up last month to speak about the trees on the block that had caused a power outage the weekend before. So that was August 8th. August 9th, the next morning, 11 o'clock, my doorbell rings and Roberta Stern is there. She wants to know, what trees, and I was pretty impressed. So I showed her, during that time we were talking, and I showed her a tree next door that she saw had a dead limb on it, and a couple of trees across the street, one of which is what caused the original power outage. Right away, she was on the phone with the tree people in town at DPW, and they happened to be working a couple of blocks away, but they were too involved and wouldn't be able to get there that day. 2 weeks later, on August 24th, the doorbell rings in the afternoon, and Angan and his partner are outside with the tree truck, with the boom truck. "Are you the fellow that called about the tree overhanging your house?" "Yes, I am." He says, "Well, there's another problem. Before I do that tree, the tree next door on your neighbor's property is dead." I said, "Dead? It's full of leaves." He says, "No, but if you poke a hole in, it's crawling with ants and it's eating up inside." With that, Supervisor Gary came on the block, and they got to talking. Angan showed Gary the tree that he was talking about with the carpenter ants. And I asked Gary about the 3 other trees on the other side of the street, that one of which is what caused the original power outage on the block. And he said, "Well, that's PSE&G." I said, "Well, do I tell my neighbors to call PSE&G?" He said, "No, the town will handle it. We'll call PSE&G." So he knew at that time about all 6 trees on Grant Avenue. One of which was just a dead limb on my neighbor's property, and a limb on a tree that I wanted on. They talked for a little bit, and then everybody left. I didn't hear anything else until this evening. Roberta Stern said she made a phone call, and we're on a list. So I'm just up here to let you know what's going on. Since my original phone call 3 months ago, I think we're nearing the end of timely fashion period. And whatever you can do to get PSE&G to service the trees on the other side of the block, and all throughout Maywood. You know, you got 80-year-old trees that need to be maintained, and in my mind, they're not being maintained.
Anyone else from the public wishing to be heard? Seeing no one, closing meeting to the public. At this point, I would ask for a motion to go out of the regular order of business for the purpose of, thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
For the purpose of contract negotiations. We have the chief, who needs to come and speak with us, closed session. So at this point, we go out of the regular order of business and then go into close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Be resolved by the Mayor and Council of Borough Maywood pursuant to provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, the Mayor and Council in closed session to discuss the following subject matters: contract negotiations. Be further resolved that as precisely as determined this time, the discussion conducted in said closed session can be disclosed to the public upon taking final action thereon, provided disclosure shall not violate the attorney-client privilege or constitute undue invasion of privacy. Be further resolved the Mayor and Council of Borough Maywood will return to open session after this meeting.
This should not be long, so members of the public will be back.
Are you staying up here?
Yeah. Is there a motion to go back into the regular order of business?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing on pending ordinances.
Ordinance 1716, an ordinance to amend ordinance 1516 to correct the employee dating policy as Chapter 52, subsection 79.7 of the Code of the Borough of Maywood. Ordinance 1816, an ordinance to amend Chapter 312, subchapters 29B3 and 34.1B3 of the Code of the Borough of Maywood governing the parking of vehicles in the Borough of Maywood. Ordinance 1916, an ordinance to amend Ordinance 116 so as to amend Section 1 to add the position compensation of part-time police dispatchers within the Department of Public Safety and amend Section 4 regarding the prevailing compensation of the school crossing guards.
All right, the meeting is open to the public for any comments or questions relative to the foregoing ordinances. Anyone from the public wishing to be heard? Seeing no one, is there a motion for the adoption?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Roll call.
Caravano?
Yes.
Trevino?
Yes.
DeHere?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood that ordinance 1716, 1816, and 1916 be and they are passed upon second and final reading. The Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise the same according to law. Ordinance 2016, bond ordinance to authorize the acquisition of self-contained breathing apparatus equipment for the use of the fire department in, by, and for the Borough of Maywood in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $205,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to appropriate a federal grant, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
The meeting is open to the public for any comments or questions relative to the foregoing ordinance. Anyone from the public wishing to be heard? Seeing no one? Is there a motion for the adoption?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Padavano.
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
DeHere.
Yes.
Nestor.
Yes.
Maroni.
Yes.
Lindenau.
Yes.
Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood that ordinance 2016 be passed upon second and final reading. The Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise the same according to law, and that the 20-day period of limitations within which a suit action or proceeding questioning the validity of such ordinance can be commenced as provided in the local bond law has begun to run from the date of first publication of this statement. A copy of this ordinance has been posted on the bulletin board upon which the public notices are customarily posted in the Borough Hall of the Borough, and a copy is available up and including the time of such meeting to the members of the general public to the Borough, who shall request such copies to the office of the Borough Clerk in said Borough of Maywood, New Jersey.
Correspondence and report of the Borough Clerk.
Okay, you'll notice in your mailboxes there was a request from the American Legion to once again be a sponsor for their journal. That has to go in. There's a time limit if you wanted to discuss that at any point and let me know whether we're going to do that again this year. That's all I really have.
How about it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
And we're going to go for the gold page once again?
Go for the goal.
Go for the gold. Actually, one other thing is, you'll also see on the agenda for council approval is the Halloween parade requested by the
Rotary.
Everybody received copies of the complete package for their review and as well for that. That's all I have.
Is that what they call it? Howell? That's clever. That's clever. All right, report of the administrator.
Mayor, the only thing I have tonight, just to remind everybody that Fall Festival is coming up. Before you know it, it's around the corner, October 2nd. All the preparations are being made. Our sponsorships are coming in nicely. We will have a lot of the same activities from last year, the petting zoo and the pony rides and all the inflatable bouncies and other things. And this year we are adding for the slightly older kids, since there's usually nothing for them, the video trailer that had been used by the Municipal Alliance and was such a big success. So we've gotten that for the Fall Festival. So some of the slightly older kids will have something to do besides milling around and picking on their younger siblings. And so that should be very nice, and hopefully we'll have a nice day. I just wanted to let everyone know that regarding what the resident from 848 Grand said, we are kind of at the mercy of public service. We have a lot of trees that are on the list that, they have to do, and right now they're doing 2 tomorrow. They don't happen to be his 2, but they're doing 2 other ones that are on the list. And we do, put pressure on them to come in as often as possible, but again, it's their schedule too, and our men, particularly the gentleman that he mentioned who came to his house, is a little leery about going near the wires where some other people aren't as, concerned about it. So some of the men on our, team will go through some, not high tension wires obviously, but some of them will work closer to wires than some of our other men, and therefore there are trees that we don't do ourselves unless we have one of the other men available who is not as leery about working near them. But that is the process, and, I'm sorry?
Safety is always paramount.
Right,
Someone's
exactly.
not comfortable, we're
Yep.
not sending them over. I'm sure we are within the timeliness statute, so I think we'll be okay. That it, Roberta?
That's it.
Thank you. Report of the attorney.
Mr. Mayor, I have a report to give in closed session, if you don't mind.
Okay. Committee reports. Councilwoman Padavano.
I just wanted to let everybody know about the flu shot coming up by the Board of Health on Wednesday, October 26th, from 3 to 4 at the Senior Recreation Center. You just have to bring your medical insurance card, and it's for ages 18 and over, Maywood residents. And I just wanted to commend our police force for all their help with the beginning of school, Memorial School and Maywood Avenue School drop-off and pick-up can be a little crazy, and they have all been out there in full force, and I appreciate it because it made drop and go very smooth for... So thank you. I also have something for closed session.
Thank you. Councilman Trevino.
I do not have a report this meeting, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman DeHaan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to thank everybody who attended the 9/11 services, both the one we had in the morning and the one Presbyterian Church. I want to specifically thank you for sharing an evening service. That was very, very nice. From the building department, for the period of August 9th through today, there was $13,327 in permit fees collected, and I also have one item for closed session.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Messer.
First off, I do not have an item for closed session, so I'll get that out. Yes, as details. Seasons are changing. Right now, soccer is the sport that is in season. We've had our opening game for soccer last weekend. We had some beautiful weather. Everybody was happy except for 2 teams from Upside River that were disappointed. Field was great. They had a good time, had good weather, so that's fantastic. Fall festival's coming up in October, which means that the sign-ups for basketball, cheerleading, and bowling are coming up as well. Pavilion looks great. We've heard a lot of compliments from the different organizations about the pavilion. There's some discussion going on with some of the organizations about updating the concession stand, so hopefully we'll have some more on that as we progress. As Councilwoman Padavano stole my thunder about the police being involved with schools and making sure that things go smoothly at drop and go. And Councilman DeHare, I was also going to say that the 9/11 memorials were very moving, and I want to especially commend the mayor on being able to retell this personal tale of tragedy for 9/11 every year since it's happened, and he tells it in a way that you can picture yourself being there in his shoes and feeling what he feels and how terrible it was and is. And I give him all the credit in the world for being able to stand up there every year and retell the story. It must be very painful for him, and it's a lesson and a story that must be told every year. And unfortunately, this is a burden that he's going to have to bear for the rest of his life to tell this story. So all I can say is thank you for sharing that, and that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Messer. Councilman Maroney.
Yes, I do have something to close now. I have nothing of a polished nature, just congratulations again to the Dolphins. I know my son Frankie is aging out of it, and he's truly depressed, but he's going to be in that NJIT this year, so we go back with him. And that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Maroney. I'll tell you, this is the first year that our kids are at the age where they're on the team where they're on the unisex, what do you call it? Co-ed. Sorry, I lost my brain. Co-ed team, and watching your daughters and my son play on the team.
I know.
It's very
hysterical, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Council President Lindenauer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple DPW things. I'd like to give kudos to Gary and the crew he had at the street fair. They were out working hard all day, keeping the street clean, emptying the garbage cans continuously. It was a very hot day. The cleanup afterward went very well. You would have never known there was a street fair there if you went by that evening. So, excellent job by the team. They are draining the pool tomorrow and prepping it for the winter to be winterized. So that's going on tomorrow down the pool. They are around town pruning trees. They are working that list. You stole my thunder a little bit on this one.
Sorry.
And they are prioritizing, so they're trying to get to the trees that they feel are the most danger, I guess. And some people may think different than the list goes. They're working through them. So they are out there working. There are a lot of trees around town that they're working on. And within the next few weeks, they're going to start going through the equipment for the winter season to make sure everything is tuned up, ready to go. If there's any issues, get them addressed before there are issues in the middle of the winter. Green Team Community Garden had a big cleanup day. Mr. Davino was a one-man crew. Unfortunately, dates got messed up amongst the mayor and I, and
We have a green paperclip for you.
I would like to
There's your award.
thank Mr. Davino for stepping up and minding the mayor's absence, because we have on our calendar October 1st for the cleanup, so not sure how that happened, but thank you, Mr. Davino. That's all I have tonight, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Lindenau. As for everybody with the thunder stealing, I have to go past 9 people by the time it gets to me. Well, 8, because the borough attorney never says anything, so 8. So anyway, 8 people, so let's not cry about thunder here. This Sunday was the 15th anniversary of the attacks on the Trade Center and the Pentagon, and I want to thank everyone who attended the services in the morning, and I'd like to thank the First Presbyterian Church for holding their annual service in the evening. Even though it's a horrible tragedy, the sense of community and fellowship that you feel from these events is always very comforting. And this year was a special one because since it was on a Sunday, we didn't have the whole class for Memorial come over. And while we had a very decent showing. A lot of volunteers, first responders, we had a lot of police officers and some members of the community. We were able to kind of huddle around, and there was no microphone, there wasn't a need for one, and it was nice. It was nice. I mean, it's always nice with the children there, because basically they're the ones that you want to keep going. You want to teach them and explain to them what happened, so that they get a sense, and we never forget this. But for when it does fall on a Sunday, it was a nice little cozy feeling. I want to thank the Bergen County Police and Fire Academy for allowing Maywood's Trunk Company to go up there and train on their roof fire simulator. We went there last night, and it was unbelievable. They have great facilities up there. The county does a great job, and we just want to thank them. All right, let's see where we are. We have no action on this, right? Correct. All right, there's no action on this. So, resignations. Richard Busa as Administrative Assistant for the Tax Finance Department, effective September 6, 2016. Is there a motion so moved for the resignation be accepted?
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Padavano?
Yes.
Trevino?
Yes.
Spear?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Maroney?
Yes.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Okay, appointments. Robert Meloche, Gabriel Martinez, Mark Guinness, and Andy Cabrera as members of the Maywood Fire Police effective September 13, 2016. 2, Christopher Balassa as a regular firefighter assigned to Undine Engine Company 1 effective September 13, 2016. Number 3, Gary Newman as an alternate 4 member of the Maywood Planning Board filling the unexpired term through December 31st, 2016. 4, James Smith and Roland Natal as part-time school crossing guards at an hourly rate of $12.50 per hour effective September 7, 2016. And number 5, Brenda Whalick as a member of the Access for All Committee effective September 13, 2016. Is there a motion for the appointments?
Vote to approve.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Padavano?
Yes.
Trevino?
Yes.
Spear?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Maroney?
Yes.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Council approval of the following. From the Maywood Rotary Club Foundation, requesting approval of special event application to hold a Halloween dog costume party in the northwest corner of Memorial Park to include use of the dog run area, basketball courts and pavilion on Saturday, October 22nd, 2016, from noon to 3 p.m. with a rain date of Sunday, October 23rd, 2016, from 3 to 5 p.m. Number 2, from Maywood Rotary Club Foundation, requesting permission to hold an on-premise 50-50 raffle at Memorial Park, Grant Avenue, Maywood, on Saturday, October 22nd, 2016, from noon to 3 p.m., with a rain date of Sunday, October 23rd, 2016, from 3 to 5 p.m. Number 3, from Sarah Riley, request to post signs on borough-owned property advertising a suicide prevention walk on behalf of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention that will take place in Saddlebrook on October 23rd, 2016. The placement of the signs will be at Maywood Avenue and Essex Street, Maywood Avenue and Passaic Street, and the area on and around the Padavano Christmas Tree Island on West Pleasant Avenue.
Mayor, before
Yes.
we move on any of that, could I just, didn't we want to do a change of meeting date? You wanted to bring that up, I thought, at this meeting, and we could do it as
Oh,
part
that's
of
right.
this?
That's right, in November.
In November. Well, the holiday, and then also the league, which is the date that we did have it on, I think the 15th, Jean, I remember, and that's, Jean won't be here, I won't be here. So we thought we would just have the one meeting in November,
Yeah.
which is the 22nd before Thanksgiving,
Okay,
unless...
November, our meetings are scheduled for November 15th and the 22nd.
Right.
So you wanted, I guess, to cancel the 15th?
Right.
So the,
Well, as I said, that's the beginning of the league, and Jean's not here, I'm not here.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you could do it without
Does
us.
anyone have a
but-
problem putting that on the, can we put that on here? For approval?
Sure.
Keith?
I don't know if we have to do it by resolution.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I just thought in the council approval of, just those 3 items to
There's
add that.
enough time.
I mean, we have time, we
We
could
have
do
time.
it, but you...
There's enough time to, as long as we notice the newspapers, right?
Mm-hmm. When's our next meeting?
September 20...
September 26th, 20...
Okay. I mean, if we could, if we have a date.
September 27th.
We're not going to reschedule, just going to kill it? Is that the plan?
Right, we're just going to have the one meeting, and then
Cancel.
I think we needed to look at October too, but...
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Luca.
Anyhow,
Yeah, somebody went to-
I know we wanted to be reminded.
At least everybody's aware that the meeting's going to be canceled, and we'll start with
Only
resolution.
meeting November 22nd.
Correct, the only meeting in November will be the 22nd.
Okay. All right, so...
Oh, yeah, full, regular, 2 meetings, October. Oh.
I thought there was an issue in October, but we could talk about it. And
Oh.
I don't know why, I didn't bring the calendar up with me, but it had something to do with the Jewish holidays, but I don't think it matters, the way it
Well,
works out.
obviously, that, if it does have... that-
Well, it's-
October 4th
Then
and
it does matter.
October 25th.
Oh.
11th and 25th.
Yeah. How could it be the 4th?
October 4th and October...
So we already moved it.
No, we switched it at the beginning because
We
of
did
that.
switch it.
We already switched.
Right, okay.
Oh, we moved it off
Yeah.
11.
Right on top.
Right.
We're on top of it already.
Damn.
See
All
that?
right, so we have those 3 items. We have those, we have those 3 items for approval. Is there a motion for the approval?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Padavano.
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
DeHier.
Yes.
Messer.
Yes.
Maroni.
Yes.
Lindenau.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Bert. We'll take care of that next time. Resolutions by title.
Resolution 13016, supporting the mayor's bonus campaign. Resolution 13116, Bergen County Open Space Trust Fund award acceptance. Resolution 13216, approving the revised fire law regulations of the Maywood Fire Police. Resolution 13316, resolution authorizing execution of the DEA-funded state and local task force agreement. Resolution 13416, resolution authorizing a shared services agreement between the Borough of Maywood and the City of Hackensack for the shared use of the Maywood Firearms Range and the City of Hackensack's Firearms Training Simulator, FAT Simulator equipment.
Is there a motion for the adoption?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Padavano?
Yes.
Trevino.
Yes.
DeHier.
Yes.
Messer.
Yes.
Maroni.
Yes.
Lindenau.
Yes.
Okay, we have no questions of ordinance. Is there any new business? How about any old business? Or any miscellaneous business? We do have closed session. So is there a motion to go into close?
So moved.
Second?
Rick, you said you had something to close as well?
Padavano?
Was it contract?
This is for the close.
No.
Yes?
For the personnel, what, you want to do?
Just has to part.
It would be contract negotiation.
You gonna do a roll call vote?
Yeah, is everyone in favor?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Everybody voted? Be resolved, Mayor and Council, Borough of Maywood pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, the Mayor and Council meet in closed session to discuss the following subject matters: contract negotiations. And do you have something? Sorry.
Probably similar to, we're on the same page with...
Okay. And be further resolved that as precisely as determined this time to discuss and conduct in said closed session, to disclose that public will not take final action on, provided disclosure on failing to make fine votes, or content undue invasion of privacy. Be further resolved, Mayor and Council, Borough of Maywood, do not envision a return to open session at this meeting, but reserve the right to do so.
Roberta, that paper, half paper.
From Ron?
Yeah.